It only takes a few minutes, right?
Yeah, we'll do a fuel drain too, so you can see how that's done.
Absolutely. Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so first thing you gotta know is the battery's in the front here.
Okay.
It's really easy to come out. So basically, every night you take it out. So you'll usually find it like this.
Right.
Okay. Just get her in, crank her in, and then when it's done, it just makes it really hard.
Okay.
So we'll start with the fuel drain. So now we have the battery in. It's quite easy. I'm just gonna go right with the barrel there.
Okay. Here's the unlocking mechanism. Here's the battery. Comes off with a key. And we lock this up like that. How about yourself?
I'm just doing my endorphin on it now, finishing up my hours and that sort of stuff.
Right.
So you can see right here, this is the fuel cell vent. And then right down here, you're going to see the drain spot there, okay?
Okay.
So we're just going to do, hey Ray, how are you? So
Living the dream.
we're just going to turn the battery on, and it's going to make a buzz right off the bat, so we're going to mute it. Get that mute horn going.
Okay.
The fuel valve only works when the battery's on, so we're going to switch the fuel valve off. You can hear it go.
Okay.
Okay. And then we're going to come back to here. There's this little button right here, and that's going to give us fuel that comes out the bottom here. So we'll just take a little bit of that, let it drip out.
Of course, we're looking for water and crap.
Yeah, exactly. Water, particles, anything that you see. This stuff's really good and clean.
Oh, nice.
We just got fueled up last night, so good. We'll pour that in there. Next one's a bit more of a pain in the butt because we can't really be there, so we try to. This is where it's going to come out.
Yeah. So you try and aim for it.
Exactly, because we're going to be on the other side actually.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to come back in here. We're going to turn the fuel valve back on.
Fuel valve.
Okay. And then we're going to put our fuel booster pumps in. This will give us just a little bit of pressure, about 6 to 15 psi in the fuel. So,
6 to 15 psi.
Yeah, it just sort of keeps. It's a recirculation pump. They just boost. Like our mechanically driven fuel pump is what gives us all of our psi and all that, but those just keep the fuel moving. So up here. We have our airframe fuel filter, which is this right here. So right at the bottom, I don't know if you can see it there. Put that for you.
Beauty. Can we close that? Or
Yep.
do you...
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So right here at the bottom, there's a little button, and we're just going to push that gently and let a little fuel out, just to drain the filter there.
Okay, and that goes down into a reservoir, which goes into a...
Not even a reservoir, it's just a drip that comes out right above our funnel there. So basically everything that goes in the bottom of that just drips out there.
Beauty.
Alright. And so that's our fuel drain and our fuel check with that. Ooh, excuse me. Alright. Just doing a quick DI here.
Fill your boots?
Alright.
How's your going,
Excellent, thank you.
So we'll head around to the other side here and we'll just get started.
Sure.
From there. So that's done. We want to turn our battery off. We don't want to drain it. It's super important in the startup process of this. So we'll pull our fuel boosters and battery back off. All right. And then with our DI, we'll start up here.
Very good.
So right in here, you're going to see our servos. There's 3 of them.
Yeah.
The 2 outside ones are for the cyclic control. The center's for the collective control. We're just looking to make sure that there's clean. There's not a lot of hydraulic fluid built up on them or anything like that. Hoses are clean, connections are clean, and that sort of stuff. Right around.
Are you just starting to go through it now?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I've done it once already, and we're just going through it again real quick here.
Yeah, go ahead. Flash it up and we'll go that way.
All right. So right around the corner here, you have a little filter. And you just want to check on top. There's going to be like, it feels flat, but there's a little red button that can pop up. And if that is popped up, it means that fuel filter is clogged. It's right here. So just right on top, there's a little button there. Okay. And that's basically all we're looking for in that. In this one, you can see we have our transmission and gearbox. So we're going to look at our oil level here. Okay. Again, we want to check just all the connections are good and clean. We want to connect our chip. We have 2 chip sensors right here, and there's one just a little farther forward you can see. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Just right up there, those little white ones. So we're just going to check and make sure they're connected. Oil levels. And then back here, Yeah, right there, our transmission, there's like a little piece coming in. You can see there's a couple teletemps on there. We want to see them as best we can and make sure that there's no differences there. Yeah, they're like, they kind of like look like 5 circles with red around them or 5 circles with yellow around them. Really hard to see from this spot. You can sort of see it from where I am here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is it. This one here? No.
Right back on that gray thing behind there.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Here, let's get right in there. Then this is so small. Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
Cool.
Okay. So that's all we're looking for in there. Right up here, we have our fuel filters and our air intake. So we're going to check to make sure they're clean. If you look through here, there's a gap between those two. You want to make sure that that's empty. Okay. So this is our main fuel or engine compartment here. So we're looking to make sure all our hoses are good and clean, all our wires are connected. Just basically, again, like you want to make sure everything's in its place, everything's looking good. You have your air intake here, you have your accessory area here, combustion chamber down there. Your starter generator is here.
Starter generator?
Yeah, right there. Okay. And then you can always check this. You want to make sure that there's a little bit of play in it.
Yeah.
It just means that it's good and straight. There's no bends.
That's the tail rotor.
Drive shaft.
Drive
there.
shaft, yep.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a couple teletemps up here again you want to look at, make sure that
Oh,
they're...
those things. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure that there's nothing there. So that's basically all we're looking for in that area. Okay.
Oh, shit. 1 second. Shit, I didn't just lose it, did I? No. Okay, good. Here we go.
So always check the fuel caps on. Here's our range and our fuel gauge here. You can see we just fill at the bottom of the range. This has a range extender
The
on
range
it.
extender, yeah, that's what these are all about, I guess.
Yeah, this just shows that extra bit of fuel there, because like the gauge on the inside, I think only does 75 gallons.
75 gallons total?
I think so.
So how many gallons per hour? 25?
I'm not even too sure. I think it's about 30, yeah.
Oh, 30, yeah. Okay, 30 gallons per hour.
Here's our dipstick here. It's a bit of a pain, but you want to make sure, up in this one, you want to make sure it's at least up to the 1 liter. That's basically where we keep it in this one. Not too sure we don't go higher, but that's just Chinook standard sort of thing.
Yeah.
You always want to make sure that it's really tight. These things don't always fit super well, so. Got it on backwards here. Come on. There we go. Okay. Good and tight there. As you're going along, you want to check like all these areas with a lot of bolts on them. Make sure they're all tight. Nothing's moving there. Really important. Take a look along your rotors as usual.
Now there's the
Slit here.
the slit that you have to see through.
Yeah, you just want to see a line of light from top to bottom there. That way, again, there's no bend in the tail rotor. I don't know how you're going to get it with that,
That's
but
going to be really tough. Maybe I
sort of
can.
see it with your eyes.
I don't know if you can do that. This is as close as I can get to seeing the slit through there. Anyways, here we go. We're going to move back to the tail rotor.
Yep, so we're just going to check our horizontal stabilizers, make sure everything's tight. This can spin here, not a big deal. It's just a...
As long as the lock is on.
Exactly. So screws all along here, make sure your rivets and bolts are all good.
Oh. Here's one that's slightly lifting out. Is that a problem?
There's a few of them out there that don't...
They don't flush up?
but they're good and tight. You can tell that they're lined up with all the other ones.
Right, okay.
Same angle on them, so.
Oh, that's what you're looking for, is the same angle on the
Yeah,
bolt.
as long as they're not loose.
Okay.
So you come back to the tail rotor, there's going to be a little bit of movement here, it's fine as long as the pitch links are nice and tight, that sort of stuff. We're going to check our surfaces, make sure they're good and clean, and then we're going to turn it one way, and whenever you turn it, you're going to make sure that you can see light through the tight side.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
you're
can
going to
see
do it
that.
the other way, you want to see the light through that too.
Right, okay.
In here you'll see the tail rotor oil reservoir, and there's also a chip detector in there as well. You can see them with a flashlight through there, and you want to make sure that they're full.
Okay.
Coming up, same thing, check all the bolts, all that sort of stuff. In here you have your airframe fuel filter. Again, right here you can see that little red button on top. So if that red button's popped out, it means you have an impending clog or a problem. So you can reset it and try it, or you can get it serviced right away. Whatever sort of situation you're in there. Yeah?
Nope. Hold on, one more thing.
One more? Oh.
This
right.
here little pin that goes through the drive shafting there. You can see on the bottom side, you can see a little
On the drive shaft, okay.
That should be able to turn. You should be able to roll that with your finger.
Oh yeah, okay.
And if it doesn't, it means somebody's whacked something with the tail rotor and twisted the drive shaft. And it's that. But yeah, you just want to make sure of that. That's all.
Here's Ray. He's the man.
So fuel filter here. Here's our drive shaft again. We're just going to look and all make sure all our connection points are good. We have our igniter back here and our fuel injector there. So this is for the combustion area. Make sure that's all good. As we come forward, like this is going to be your beep range. So it allows for minor adjustments in the RPM of your main rotor. So we'll end up testing that inside when you do your startup checks and stuff like that. But again, you just sort of go through, look, check your teletemps, and you can see, make sure nothing's leaking, nothing's loose, and everything's sort of in its place, not dangling there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Cargo box. Maximum allowable weight 250, 86 per square foot. If you're ever going to load this here, make sure all your heavy stuff goes to the front.
Heavy stuff in the front.
Yep, you betcha. There's tie-down hooks here for anything that you know that you can tie down and stuff.
Nice.
This is actually supposed to have a bungee strap over this here.
Right. Keep
Plastic, it's not going anywhere.
Keep it from moving.
Yep. There's actually a on most of them. This one doesn't have it. Most of them you'll see a little switch, a micro switch up here, and it'll be a light on your dash saying baggage door open or close.
Oh, really?
So yeah, most have just a switch right up in this corner.
Be hard to miss now, flapping around.
Yep.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, you got, you know, I mean, you shut down and you guys got getting out, and you're not going to get out because you're not going to shut down. You're going to move more crew, and they come back here and grab their shit and stuff, and you know, they might close one of them, may not close either one of them. And 99% of all the bush machines in here does not have any shocks on here or the doors.
Right.
So
it'll fly open and break.
yeah, and you know, it might sit like this or whatever, and the guy is busy here and he walks away, and yeah,
Snapola.
shit happens.
This is the other side of your gearbox here. So again, you get a couple more teletemps in there. There's certain mounts you can see over here, so you want to make sure that those bushings are good and that sort of stuff. And if you look right down at the bottom there, yeah, you sort of point at it. It's like a little pin that sort of comes out of the bottom of the gearbox, right down there.
Oh yeah.
And
that'll make sure that move stays in the middle, right?
It wants to stay in the middle, so what you're going to look at is the plate on the bottom. You just don't want to see any chunks or big dings on that. You might see a couple, like a little bit of paint rubbed off on the little pin itself, but you don't want that plate to have any damage to it.
Yeah,
otherwise, you know that it's moving too much, right?
Here's the pin right there, that gray thing right in the middle of the screen. There we go.
All right, so same thing as usual. Check the teletemps, make sure everything's good and connected, no leaks and that sort of
Check
stuff.
all the connections. Look at all the red marks. Okay.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to climb up here. You got a little foothold right there. Climb up. And you're going to notice that this will move the entire transmission back and forth.
Yeah.
But you can't move it this way. It'll rock the whole helicopter, and that's what you want. You want to be able to move laterally, but not long, not up the far front and back.
Okay.
You can take a look in the top. You get a different view. You can see everything a little more light, and you again just looking for the same old stuff there. Yeah, there you go.
How's my angle?
You look so.
Hey, go ahead, take her out. Take her for a ride.
There you go. Okay.
Really?
The screen just went off, but.
Oh, that's okay. It likes doing that. For sure.
The final front compartment here is just the other side of your servos, so you can take a look again. You'll notice the front of them are wrapped in bags. It's just because they leak a little bit of hydraulic fluid, which can get really messy. So they wrap them in bags to keep it clean in there.
Really? Are you guys flying now?
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's cool. I'd like to join you.
We're just shooting autos and stuff in the infield today.
Oh yeah, I'd love it.
So,
Oh yeah, make sure all these are done. And this is the pitot?
Nope, that's your static port,
Static
right?
port, yeah.
Got one on either side.
Of course, yeah.
And then okay.
Cool. And there you go.
One complete circle.
And that's one big circle around the helicopter.